one thing that you said that really blew my mind was there's only 10,000 people who live here, but we have 10 million visitors a year. And ladies and gentlemen, think about the cash flow on that. That is huge. Yeah, and the weekly rental price is insane down there.
Yeah, and it depends on the market, it depends on the property. So we started the short-term shop and our own investing career in the Gatlinburg area in the Smokies. And back then, I've been investing in short-term rentals since 2015, been investing in long-term rentals since 2013. We've got a few hundred rentals across the country, but 10 of them are the vacation rental type assets. And back then, you could buy a cabin in the Smokies for $150,000 and it would gross, $45,000 a year. Those same properties that we underwrote to gross $45,000 a year back in 2015, those do $80,000 a year each now. So you don't have to go buy a $5 million home on 30A to be successful at this. The Smokies is not that cheap anymore, but there are other markets where if you are somebody who wants to just dip your toe, like a Myrtle Beach, you can get a condo for $250,000. Branson, Missouri, same thing. So they're not cheap, but it is depending on what your budget is. There is a market for just about everybody who wants to invest in this type of asset class.
And do you have a management company?
No. So the thing about short-term rentals, they're different from long-term rentals. So long-term rentals, you put them with a management company, they charge you 8 to 10%, no big deal. It's the rent's like $1,500 a month on each unit, no big deal. But with short-term rentals, the average management split is 20 to 25% of your gross income, which it really only takes about an hour a week to self-manage a short-term rental, really from anywhere in the country. And the reason we started self-managing ours was because we couldn't afford, we scraped together that first down payment, like pennies out of the bottom of my purse. We're digging through the car seats to make that down payment. And when we went to look for a management company, because that's what we thought you did, back then the split was 40%. And our whole goal, we already had one long-term rental, but our goal for investing in short-term rentals was because they cash flow more. So we thought, what can we buy that's going to make us the most amount of money the fastest so we can buy more? And when we heard 40%, we're like, no, we need that 40% so we can buy another one. So right. Back then, there weren't all these cool automation tools that there are now. We just kind of figured out how to manage our property remotely from Nashville. And we started teaching our clients how to do that. Now there's so many great tools to make it super easy. It only takes about an hour a week to manage one property. But 25% gets to be kind of a lot for not a lot of work. So to give you a little bit of context, in my 8 short-term rentals that I owned for a full year, last year, we bought a couple this year, but last year, if I'd paid a manager 25%, I would have paid somebody about $250,000 to do the amount of work that, maybe is a $50,000 a year office job. So it stops making sense. So it's much easier to use automation tools and keep that 25%, go make that down payment on the next property. And then if you start to need help using a VA.
I love it. So we talked a little bit before we came on the air. So that you are looking for agents and so do you run teams in different markets? Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah. So we have, I call them offices. We're 100% virtual. We have offices in 20 vacation markets across the country. A lot of them in the Southeast, but they don't have to be. I'm just familiar with the Southeast being a Mississippi girl. So, a lot of beach markets, a lot of mountain markets, lake markets, things like that. We are looking to expand and add some new markets this year. We're looking for that true vacation type market that has very little hotel presence, has a lot of tourism. The economy is dependent on tourism. We really need some agents in Orlando. We're hiring a few in the Smokies and Tennessee. We're also looking in the Poconos in Pennsylvania and Park City